Everywhere you look, people are talking about romanticizing their life. While living in a quaint French town or dining on the Amalfi Coast sounds beautiful, you don't have to spend a ton of money or live somewhere romantic to do it. It's simply about looking at your life through rose-colored glasses, seeing the joy in the little things and focusing on the positive. Romanticizing your life is kind of like flipping a switch in your brain from negative to positive. So today I'll be sharing some easy ideas on how to flip that switch and start romanticizing your life. First of all, to romanticize your life, you need to switch your perspective. Let's use school as an example. I used to hate school. I found it incredibly stressful and very boring at the same exact time. But when I watch movies or shows like Clueless or Gilmore Girls, suddenly the concept of going to school actually seems really fun and exciting. Movies romanticize little moments like that. But how do you switch that perspective? One of my favorite tips is to use Pinterest. If you're watching this video, I feel like you probably already do, but think about the different aspects of your life right now, especially the ones that you don't enjoy as much. For me right now, this would be working a corporate office job. You might have school, uni, maybe working out, or maybe everyday things like going to the grocery store or cleaning. Look for Pinterest photos to represent those parts of your life. Pinterest gives us very aesthetic, beautiful photos and can show us the beauty and the mundane and help us reframe that part of our life that we don't really like in a more beautiful way. So instead of thinking of school as something daunting, you could think of it as a coming of age movie. Or for me, instead of hating my office job, I could use it as an opportunity to be a cute little office girly, get like my daily matcha, that kind of thing, and really just think about it in a fun little way. It might not be your ideal situation or your dream life, but we might as well make the best of what we have right now. My next tip usually raises some eyebrows, and I'm not really sure if this is normal, honestly, but sometimes I like to picture myself in a third-person perspective, like a movie or someone else in the room. And this usually helps me act more put together, like for example sitting up straighter, having better posture, but it also makes me realize like the whole scene and take everything in as a whole. If you think about it, movies romanticize even the bad moments, even the silly little embarrassing moments. Next time you're feeling down, you can just imagine how a main character might also be having a little embarrassing moment at school, or maybe the main character is also going through a sad part of their life, and just think about how aesthetic it would be if you were in a movie and you were crying in the shower or something. That sounds a little dramatic, but you get my point. Next, take photos and videos of everything around you. They're so nice to look back on. And by stopping and taking a moment to photograph something, you're taking a moment to appreciate that thing. So don't just take photos of like the really cool things happening around you, but you're also taking photos of the fun little everyday things that go unnoticed sometimes. Things like flowers or animals that you see on your walk. You can also take videos and photos of yourself, and that always makes me feel like a main character kind of situation. And maybe it's a little bit different because I do like making content for Instagram and YouTube, but whenever I do look back at those videos, I'm like, that was actually such a nice little moment. And that kind of helps with the looking at yourself from a third person perspective. Another thing you can do is have the right music playing. You can find or create some playlists that reflect the kind of vibe that you want to have. I definitely listen to different music depending on the season, and I'm still working on creating my playlist, but you can create a playlist for your morning routine, your night routine, cleaning, driving, and so on. You can create something to hype yourself up, or maybe even listen to if you're sad or angry. Side note, you don't want to be listening to sad music all the time because it can affect your vibrations in a negative way and it can mess up with your manifestations, but sometimes it just really helps and it just fits the vibe so well. I find that looking put together always helps me feel more like the main character. So I would suggest to do your hair and makeup every day, even if it's just a little bit, even if you don't really feel like it. Obviously, only do it if you like that stuff. I'm not saying you need to wear makeup to romanticize your life, but for me, it always helps because I like wearing makeup. Also, dress cute every day, even if you're just staying at home. So maybe get some cute loungewear, some nice sweatpants, some nice tank tops. It can totally be comfortable and cute at the same time. And the same goes for pajamas. Make sure they're not too old or worn out. Maybe do some decluttering, and you'll start to feel like your night routine is straight out of a Pinterest board or a movie. And this goes for everyday clothes too. Maybe maybe try out some new fashion styles, go back to your Pinterest board and see if you can get any inspo. I low-key wish I dressed a little bit more preppy in the fall for school. I feel like that would have been so cute and it would have just helped me, like just romanticize my life, because I would feel like the main character in that situation. I always say look good, feel good, because if you look good, you're gonna feel good. And if you feel good, you're gonna put even more effort to look good. Another way to romanticize your life is to decorate your room how you like it. I feel like it's kind of obvious, but if you haven't already decorated your room, then why not? You can go as crazy as you'd like, but if you're tight on a budget, there are plenty of little DIYs you could do, or you could thrift things. I made this DIY jewelry organizer recently and I love it so much. It was very easy, very cheap to make, and every single time I use it, I feel like a garden fairy or something. Candles, diffusers, and incense are also a really great, cheap way to make your room cozier, and depending on the scent that you choose, it could change the vibe. Also, just the action of turning on a diffuser or lighting a candle or some incense kind of just helps you slow down and romanticize the moment in itself. Also, fairy lights are one of my absolute favorite ways to decorate a room and add some magic to it, as you can probably tell. I have a whole video on how to make your room cozier, so if you want more tips, definitely watch that over here. Next, you can switch up your routine. Plan little activities or solo dates to spice up your life. Instead of waiting for a friend or a boyfriend, you can go to a restaurant by yourself. Instead of eating dinner in your room, go to a park or your backyard and have a little picnic. Work at a cafe instead of your room, or go read outside. I think you get the point. Like I said before, dress cute, do your hair, put on the perfect playlist. And when you're doing these activities, you can picture it from a third-person perspective and just really take in the moment. You can also get cute alternatives to basic stuff in your life. By that, I mean you could have your daily matcha or coffee from a cute glass instead of a basic one. Swap out your mugs based on the season. You can get a fun toothpaste or mouthwash flavor. I mean, there are just so many possibilities. Just look for little ways to spice up the daily tasks. Another tip is to journal at the end of the day. Either write down a diary entry with everything that happened, or you can write down 3 things that you're proud of yourself for and 3 things that made you happy or you're grateful for. You know, something like that. They can be the smallest things too, but just reflecting back on those happy little moments can really help you appreciate the little things in life. Going off of that, you can make a memory jar. This kind of goes back to those movie moments. Write down your favorite moments on pieces of paper and keep them in a jar. If you're ever down, you can look through it and remember all the things that have made you happy. Romanticizing your life is really all about slowing down and noticing all the beautiful things around us. And it is about putting in a little bit more effort to make the daily things a little bit more exciting. Decorating something even if it doesn't need it, making your dinner look pretty even if no one else is gonna see it, wearing a hair bow even if you're not leaving the house, because you are seeing it. And that's what's really important, because our reality comes from our own minds. I make lots of videos on how to become your most aesthetic Pinterest best version of yourself, so if that sounds good, be sure to click that subscribe button. Let me know if you have any tips of your own down in the comments below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!